There we go. Well, you guys. Uh, there you go. I paused it. Hard to hear on my end. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, so I'll just reiterate everything that I said because of the music. I thought I paused it, but I guess I did not. But good morning. Last night was fun. It was good entertainment. Took our three trades and as Mo would say, put our tail between our legs and walked off. The ideas were strong, the ideas were there. We just need a little tweaks. That's all I would say. Um, I was gonna say though, let me know, what are you guys doing today? You guys got any projects on? You working today? If you haven't, and you guys are new to the channel, all you got to do is go hit subscribe on the button below, and then you can join in the chat. You can blow it up, do whatever you want. So, but you have to subscribe to do that. Otherwise, we had some rain here in the Northwest. If you guys live in the Northwest, So it's a good thing. It's starting to get a little dry. I don't know, we didn't have the huge snowpack that we normally do in the mountains, so it's definitely smoky over here with wildfire. But rain makes corn, and corn makes whiskey, and you should know the rest. If you know, you know. Yeah, we'll talk about a little bit about last night and just kind of analyze that a little, but we'll get into the market prep this morning. And the news release was supposed to come out today at 7 o'clock, the JOLTs, so the job openings. It refers to like the positions, the open ones not filled over the last business day of the month. It's part of it's part of the openings and like labor turnover survey. So that, it's a good data that helps, for the Fed to decide, on policy. But as far as other news releases today, unless you're trading the yen, we do have consumer confidence survey, and I don't even know what the Tankin index of sentiment. Manufacturer covers about that. It's in capital and ben. Oh, okay, it goes over the capital. Yeah, so sentiment stuff. So there's some yen stuff today as well, but that's not until this afternoon. But yeah, we're just waiting for those job openings. So we'll get into it real quick. If you guys got to run off and do what you got to do today. Last night, right? We took that trade. This is MES, so we'll keep an eye on MES for now. I'm on the 1 hour time frame. I am going to erase all these lines here. We'll leave the 200. We can get rid of these ones here. So MES has finally broken out of this trend that we've had since the 12th. So like I said before, I'm looking at some manipulation in the market today. And what I'm going to hope to see is maybe a return back down here. If I make a little box, make it look a little nice, from here. Oh, that's a circle. That's not what I'm looking for. All right, there we go. Right, so this is about the zone I'm looking for as support here. This would be an area of, if we have a bounce here, then we'll have the continuation upwards. The other support is obviously this trend line, but sometimes those could just be false. It just depends on the context behind it. But that's what I'm looking for, because this has an area of consolidation during that period, because you have just a little bit of selling, buying, selling, buying. So there's a fight in here willing to take place. Plus, this green wicking candle is a lot of buyers stepped in to continuate this price up. So I'll be looking in this zone today to take any longs. But I have a couple zones, right? I'm assuming we'll have manipulation for the day, as that's how New York usually is. Likes to get everybody messed up. My zone would be to enter in here, so that's around this 7,466 or the 7,452 range. And then we would be looking at, obviously the short-term support is this right here, which is that 7,492. So this is that short-term support that I'm looking at here. If market opens and we get here and we can't blast through it and then we just pop back up, then I would be taking longs outside of that. So there's two zones to, put alerts on, at least in my case, that I'm looking at, and it's going to be here at 7,491, and the major support, which would be, down here. And I can type that in. Yeah, there we go. Major support for the day. I like that. So this would be the one zone that I'm looking at. This would be like, all right, beautiful. We see a retest, great. Or we see more failure, and then we just wait. We wait for that volume, like we've talked about down here. Volume will pick back up, and we'll shoot back up. So that's where I'll be looking at for that zone. This is where MES will be today. We're obviously looking at longs because we finally broke out of this movement here. That was over the last week. The question is, will it sustain, right? Will it continue? Well, I guess we're just going to have to find out. That's why we take these chances. But I like how the 50 EMA is starting to come up, right? It's starting to pop back up, getting in a change of direction. So we will see. Because this was area of support or resistance, and we blew through. You may be able to catch a trade, maybe early morning session here before market open if it rejects good. But why not wait? You know that when you enter New York session, there's just going to be so much volatility that it's just going to wick somewhere down like it did the other day, right? It popped like almost all the way down, and then all like this one right here, right? This was New York Open the other day. We knew it was going up, and it just came all the way crashing down from 14 pretty much to, so like a 70-point move, and then it came back up 70 points. Well, at least 3/4 of that within that span, and then more. So wait for that wait for the manipulation. Don't be stop loss hunted. So like right now, you could take a nice the volume's not there, right? For me, that's not qualifying for my trade because this volume is not bigger than this volume. So there's something up. Plus you got the EMAs crossing down. So there's a possibility that this isn't that strong a move as you think. So better to be patient. So that zone, this will be the first zone, and then the second zone is right down here. That's what I'm looking at. That's for MES today, or the SPY if you're trading that. Then I would be definitely going long. As far as I know, there hasn't been much change in news. Did we get any of that data yet? Still coming soon. See? It said 7 o'clock. Maybe it is 7 o'clock my time is when they're going to release it. So 7, 8, 9, 10. So maybe it's 10 o'clock Eastern time. But I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay, so it's 10 o'clock Eastern time. Sometimes I got to pull it up on the chart over here, on just pulling it up on the SPX. But yeah, so 10 o'clock, there's going to be some news. So a market opens at 9:30, and then you have job openings in 30 minutes after that. It's pretty dangerous time. So there's going to be a lot of volatility between market open and 10 when those job releases get exported. So just keep that in mind. That's why I think it'd be best to just wait it out. Wait it out until the intended direction is indicated. Because then you have from, say you wait 30 minutes after 10, it's 10:30 now, right? Now you have 10:30 all the way until market close. That's like 6 hours of trading still. Okay, I mean, you're only waiting an hour for 6 hours of trading for a good setup. So I would just be patient. That's just my opinion. Okay, gold. So you guys want to see some gold here? Oh man, last night was fun, wasn't it? That sucked. That was not fun. So the only thing that killed me, right, was I was intending for us to have that bounce off this major support, if you guys remember from last night. Like we had this support. I was like, oh yeah, all right. So I put a contract right here for support. I was like, yeah, I think this is a good spot. The only problem is I over leveraged. I put too many micros down. Usually I've had this very successful in the past, and what it happens to be is like I'll put this at a major support like that. And I did like 7 contracts here, if you remember from last night. And I was only expecting like a 4-point move, not much. I was expecting a very, very small move. Let's see. I think it was probably a 5-point move, 52, 57. Yeah, it was about 57. I just wanted a small move. And I knew we could get a small move because that usually happens during those time frames. But the problem was this was that area of support. And I would say my over leveraging got me stuck in this position. Luckily, I caught it before we dropped too far, but it still became an $800 loss because, you know, that volume kicked in. And so people were like, all right, let's sell. Oh, shoot. And so then the buyer started to step in like this is an area of support, and boom, and it came back up, and it ended up like if we held through that, you know, or reduced our size significantly, right? You could have taken that same type of hold and you would have been just fine, right? You could have rode that up throughout the night, then you would have been up. And in my live account, usually I do that. Last night I wasn't trading my live account. I was trading some simulated eval accounts, trying to get those passed, and I definitely blew those. I didn't blow any of my funded accounts, which is nice, but the eval accounts I did unfortunately lose. So otherwise, like that was the spot I was looking for. That was that movement from last night, and it just a lesson learned. You know, that's just your word of advice for the day. This manipulation wick down is always going to be there. So like MES, it may happen today. So be cautious, especially with the job openings and the data. So don't worry, the ideas are there. I just need to tweak some of the sizing on that. But yeah, so gold otherwise, we're going to be looking at the same sidewaysness right now. We did have a breakout from this last week into this week. So it finally moved, and you can kind of see right here, you have a tiny, like a little cup and handle. So if you look here, this one ended up being a nice like little head and shoulders, reject back down here to the neckline and push up. Yes, you can kind of see a cup and handle here, but on like the higher time frame, if you go up, Probably the 1 hour is where it's at then. So right, the 1 hour, we're here. We have this round down bottom. This round down bottom here. We're coming back down to this neckline here. So in the intermediate moment, this neckline is, let me get rid of this. There we go. This neckline is essentially holding as possible support. Now, we could wick down because remember I have this other, the continuation downward from the whole week, right? From last week. This is just an area of resistance. Well, we've broken out of that and we're coming back down. So usually what that means is we'll either come back down here, have a nice manipulation wick around 4,000 and then pop back up, or because we're seeing a reversal pattern right now, that cup and handle, this could be that moment. We have this up, down, maybe a little fake out here for a little wick, and then a back up, and then we'll see a nice long entry here. So I will be looking for longs on gold today and MES because of that. And, like in the description below, this is not financial advice. This is, this is just educational purposes only, and I'm not a financial advisor. Trading includes a substantial risk of loss. Past performance is not indicative of future results. So, yeah, just this little spiel. But that, you can tell, I can see that, and we'll just see what happens. The thing is, if we get the failure of like the cup and handle, right, it kind of matters and kind of doesn't at the same time, because we're looking at multiple confirming factors, not just the cup and handle. You're looking at volume down here. You're looking at the return back to this original resistance to act as now support on it, and that's really it, and geopolitical factors. So that jobs data will definitely start to push people in a specific direction. They'll start to change sentiment and be like, oh, yep, this is going to be a time where we're probably going to have rate hikes, rate cuts, because Warsh is like, hey, you got to figure it out, guys. It's up to you now. So that's, yeah. And I love how, look at the news on here, right? Gold heads for worst quarter in 13 years on strong dollar. But yeah, that's what I got for those. So keep an eye on them. Wait for some return of rejection. And that's what I'm waiting for. That's what I will be waiting for. So maybe that zone is somewhere down here around the 4,000. And the only reason being is because right here, right, this little section, we had a push up, drop. Normally we'll have a push down, and that's creating that newer highs and then higher lows, newer highs, higher lows, right? If we blow below this here, I'm going to move this line as a representation. We blow below this here, right? Then it's a failure. We're down. We're going back down, right? Which is around that 4,000, the 492 zone. But if we come here and then we reject back up, we're now starting to change our trend. And that's just following the price action. So that's all I'll be looking at. So if I were to pick a zone, right, my first zone is up here where that cup and handle is, right? My second zone is going to be here. It's a wider zone, but this is the one I would be looking at. Anything in here would look great. Anything up here and rejecting up would also look nice. Just a matter of time. So that's why this is market prep. You just see it throughout the day and see how it happens. I always like to enter off of a volume. So if we have a good volume rejection down here with confirming candles, always good stuff. Yeah, but this 10-year low, I love this. I really do. So, right. Crude has been stagnant because gold is being affected by crude because of the war. We just broke the Bollinger Band and we're below $71 a barrel. So, and we're finally completing this little, whatever, if that's not a double top to me, but you know, now we have this, so now we know we're gonna have some rejection back down. Okay, so there's that. So crude oil is gonna keep going down for a little bit. All right, here, let's go on to the next one, right? I try and keep track of these. They're not always indicative, but we just broke out of that trend here. So that's not good on the US 10 for bond yields. But we're still, we broke the Bollinger Band. And usually with technicals say you break in the Bollinger Band, you're going to have a retest back down to the 1213. So the fake out before it pops back down, possibly. Let me know what you guys think. Is that going to be that fake out before we go back down? So this could cause some pressure on gold, but I mean, we're still below the 200 EMA. You know, this is still moving in a bearish trend now, but we did have a breakout. So that is the only concerning part about this. And this is a good representation too of, you know, dollar strength. Because investors start to swing over to bond yields. They're safer. So we'll see what happens if this comes back down here, bounces here. So I mean, if you trade bond yields, this could be another good trade too. So we have this breakout and we retest back down here and we have another confirming candle, then this would be an opportunity to take the bond yield trade. And that one specifically is back up to 443 is the next resistance. And that is because of these guys, right? This is prior areas of support that turned into resistance, bounce, and then we broke through. So we could have the retest back up before we have the push down. So not everything is, you know, diagonal, not everything is that, but it's showing a directional move. So yeah, there's about 3 plays. We'll see what happens today. Let's see if they play out. Let's see what happens. But that's what I'll be looking at for today. Other than that, no super secret Asian session today. Asia session. No super secret Asia session today. But we will have another morning. What's tomorrow? Wednesday? Another morning market prep on one of these. I'll let you guys know in the Discord. If nobody else is in it, right? Come on over. You can jump on in. We have a free trial going on right now. You just click on the Stockmo Winner Plus tier. Who's Stockmo? Well, he is essentially my mentor who I've learned through and learned from, gotten better over time. I've learned a lot of things myself before I met him, and then I learned even more from him. I went through the academy and stuff like that, but there's a free trial in there too. So, and then I learned a lot from E8 Markets, that's for sure. But yeah, our community is pretty legit. So guys, I'll put it in our River Edge Futures section in the Stock Mode community. I'll drop it in here if we do any special live streams. I'll try and let you know ahead of time, Scotty, and conclusion is, and let you know if we end up doing it. I would like to do another Asian session, you know, preferably. You know, that's my bread and butter. Now we know that, and I told you guys this, that there was gonna be a pop down. There's always been a pop down, and then it reverses all the way back up, and it did. I told you I wasn't wrong there. It's happened every single time. We just gotta adjust. I guess we gotta adjust our sizing, and the market's always ever changing. So size adjustment, and like I have put in my the YouTube channel, that dynamic risk management. Everything, you gotta change it. You gotta change it every once in a while because the market changes. It's like an irrational child. It's growing up constantly, and then like one day it likes rice, and then the next day it hates rice. But then a month later, it's like, let's have some more rice. It's like, what the heck? Okay, talk about like all over the place. It'd be really, yeah. So that's what I got for you. We'll try and do that later today, and if not, then we'll let it be, and then I'll see you guys in the morning. So appreciate you stopping by. I'll let you get off to work or whatever other things you got going on, and thank you for your time. I'll